everyone, it's Animal Planet Vibes here. Today I'm super excited to share with you an incredibly special experience, one of the most unforgettable moments of my life. My very first wild boar hunt, guided by Jack, a seasoned hunter who's highly respected by everyone in the area. Jack isn't just an expert hunter, he's a symbol of courage, patience, and wisdom. Ever since I was a kid, I've heard countless thrilling stories about Jack's epic battles with huge wild boars, life or death encounters that have really put his skills to the test. But it wasn't until today that I got to see this wild world for myself. A world that isn't just about forests and wild animals, but about bravery, persistence, and an incredible love for nature. We began our journey at the crack of dawn, when the night still clung to the trees and the mist blanketed the path. We chose a high vantage point to set up camp, one that gave us a clear view of everything below. Our hideout was well camouflaged, so we were practically invisible. Both of us held our breath, eyes wide open, watching for the smallest movement. Just a few minutes later, a dark group of wild boars dashed past us. In that split second, Jack didn't hesitate. He fired. But the wild boars were fast and vanished into the forest in the blink of an eye. Not giving up, we pushed deeper into the woods. Suddenly, a wild boar burst out from the brush, and it startled me, giving me a huge shock. But Jack, as always, remained calm. In the briefest of moments, he lined up his shot and hit his target perfectly. The boar dropped instantly, collapsing onto the dry leaves. A little while later, Jack suddenly paused. His gaze fixed ahead like he was sensing something. Sure enough, another wild boar appeared. This time, Jack took only a few seconds to line up and fire. The boar went down right there. Every movement he made was confident and decisive, the mark of a true veteran hunter. About half an hour later, as we crossed a hillside, something unexpected happened. We were suddenly surrounded by a group of wild boars rushing down toward us, seemingly ready to attack. Without missing a beat, Jack reacted in an instant, taking down multiple targets in quick succession. I was absolutely amazed at the speed and accuracy. It was something I never thought I'd see in real life. In the afternoon, we continued our trek deeper into the forest, joined by the village's hunting team. The familiar hunting dogs quickly picked up the scent, and their barking signaled that the prey had appeared. Before we could even process what was happening, a huge wild boar appeared right before us. Jack didn't waste a second. He fired a shot that was so precise, the boar collapsed in just a few seconds. And then, something unexpected happened. From the brush, another massive wild boar charged out at incredible speed. This one weighed around 350 kilograms, the biggest one we'd ever seen. The confrontation was brief, but the rush of adrenaline felt like something straight out of an action movie, set in a snowy forest. The next day, we continued our journey through the forest, where the thick snow made every step challenging. But all our efforts were worth it. As we passed through a row of trees, we unexpectedly stumbled upon another group of wild boars. Without hesitation, I fired. The shots echoed through the snow-covered forest, and several targets fell. On another slope, I spotted another group of boars rushing by. This time, I waited patiently for the perfect moment and took my shot, bringing another boar down in one clean hit. Although we were exhausted, the hunt ended on the highest note of satisfaction. This was definitely one of the most successful wild boar hunts I've ever been a part of. An experience I'll never forget. Thanks for joining me on this adventure with Animal Planet Vibes. See you next time on our next exciting journey. On a misty early morning, before the sun had even pierced through the forest canopy, a team of seasoned volunteers awoke and prepared for a critical mission: a wild boar extermination campaign. This was the first campaign of the year, launched in response to an alarming surge in wild boars destroying farmlands and threatening rural communities. Wild boars, creatures typically confined to deep forests, had begun invading villages, ravaging crops, damaging property, and even posing a threat to human safety. Worse still, they carried infectious diseases, capable of spreading to livestock and people. Faced with this growing crisis, the volunteer team, in collaboration with local authorities, initiated a well-planned and challenging hunting operation. After reviewing maps, checking gear, and identifying target zones, the team ventured deep into the woods. Subtle rustling sounds from the underbrush and fresh hoof prints in the muddy trails signaled the presence of wild boars nearby. Soon, the team encountered their first target, a fully grown boar with razor-sharp tusks and a fierce glare. With coordinated precision, the group managed to bring it down after a few clean shots. But what happened next caught everyone off guard. Out of nowhere, a massive wild boar charged out from the dense forest at lightning speed. It growled and lunged straight at the group, sending them into a frenzy. Some members were forced to retreat to avoid serious injury. That brief but intense confrontation made it clear. They were dealing with more than just a few rogue animals. The local wild boar population was larger, stronger, and far more aggressive than expected. After regrouping, the team decided to take a break and rethink their strategy. As they rested, they discussed the importance of their mission. Wild boars were no longer just a nuisance. They had become a real threat to both the ecosystem and public health. Population control was crucial not only to protect crops and livestock, but also to prevent the spread of disease and restore ecological balance. As the day wore on, the boars launched another surprise attack, but this time the team was ready. Armed with a revised plan and support from trained hunting dogs, they managed to hold their ground. The forest echoed with barking and gunfire as a tense chase unfolded. Eventually, the dogs picked up the scent of the final target, leading the hunters deep into the brush. With speed and instinct on their side, the dogs cornered the boar, allowing the team to complete their mission successfully. This was more than just a hunting expedition. It was a journey that showcased human resilience, courage, and our complex relationship with nature. The footage from this operation offers a gripping and authentic glimpse into rural life, where people must fight daily to protect their land, their livelihoods, and their communities. Good day, viewers. I'm reporting live from an agricultural area where wild boars have become a serious threat to both crops and the ecosystem. These animals not only destroy farmland, but also reproduce rapidly. As you can see in the footage beside me, the damage caused by these wild boars is extensive. Presence has been growing across rural areas, from Europe to Asia, and here, one local farmer has shared his frustration. These boars have torn up my rice field. I can't sit and watch anymore. In response, the wildlife control team has deployed a special tactic: aerial hunting. I'm currently at the launch point where the hunting crew is preparing equipment and assigning tasks. The helicopter is airborne. From above, the team is tracking the wild boars using infrared cameras. Every movement is monitored in real time. There it is. A boar has been taken down in the middle of the field. This is a result of precise coordination and advanced tech. But things aren't that simple. When the boars fled into the dense forest, access became extremely difficult. The helicopter crew decided to change strategy, flying lower to flush the animals out of hiding. After hours of intense pursuit, the mission yielded positive results. Many wild boars were controlled, helping protect the crops. We've seen good results, but there's still the question. Is this a sustainable solution? Ladies and gentlemen, wild boars remain a serious threat. Their control requires a mix of technology, human effort, and long-term policy. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. Welcome to the wilds of Africa, a place where apex predators reign over the power, patience, and instinctive survival skills. In today's video, we'll explore the African lion, a symbol of nature's dominance, and confront a troubling reality. Humans are no longer just observers. They are slowly becoming prey. The African lion, Panthera leo, is a highly adapted predator built to take down large prey. With an average weight of 330 to 550 pounds, adult lions are capable of killing animals 3 to 4 times their size. Their prey may include wildebeest, large zebras, and even Cape buffalo. With powerful jaws, thick neck muscles, and exceptional teamwork within the pride, lions have become feared generals of the grasslands, a title they've earned and maintained through brute strength and strategy. But the savannah is no longer exclusively theirs. Expanding human settlements, ecotourism zones, agricultural development near protected areas have blurred the lines between wilderness and human life. And in many cases, humans have unintentionally become the intruders. As a result, encounters between lions and people have increased. And sometimes lions don't hunt wildebeest. They hunt humans. A tragic incident in South Africa in 2022 underscores this danger. A female tourist was killed by a lion right next to her vehicle after lowering the window to film the animal. What seemed like an innocent act triggered the lion's predatory instinct, with devastating consequences. These kinds of attacks aren't rare. Lions don't distinguish between camera lenses and prey, and one wrong move can prove fatal. According to the Born Free Foundation, there are roughly 100 lion attacks on humans every year, with 30 to 70 resulting in death. Most of these occur in Tanzania, Mozambique, South Africa, and other regions where communities live close to, or even inside, protected reserves. These alarming figures raise a critical question. How can we reduce the risk of lion attacks on humans? One highly debated solution is regulated lion hunting, often referred to as trophy hunting. Although banned in many countries, nations like Namibia, Zimbabwe, and Tanzania still allow controlled hunts as a method to manage lion populations and reduce human-wildlife conflict. Additionally, permit fees generate substantial income for conservation efforts and local communities. In Tanzania, trophy hunting brings in over $75 million per year, with part of that revenue promised for conservation and rural support. However, wildlife advocacy groups argue that the benefits are neither sustainable nor fairly distributed. Much of the money often ends up in the hands of a few private operators, while local residents living near lions see little to no real benefit. Beyond economic concerns, targeting dominant male lions, particularly alpha males, has devastating ecological effects. Removing a lead male disrupts pride dynamics. Younger, more aggressive males often fight for dominance, killing cubs and ousting lionesses in the process. The result? A dramatic, chaotic decline in lion numbers. In response, some African countries are embracing new conservation models, like community-based conservation. These programs train and employ local people to protect wildlife, guide safaris, or work as rangers, while also receiving a share of ecotourism profits. This model is proving that conservation doesn't have to conflict with development. And lions don't have to die so that communities can thrive. So the question remains, is lion hunting truly necessary to protect people? Or can we find a better way? A more humane, more sustainable path to coexist with nature rather than eliminate it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Every voice matters, especially in the fight to preserve the roar of the savannah. wild boar hunt. When the boys hit the woods and meet the pigs. Every rainy season, deep in the woods, the silence is broken by the low grunts of wild boars, charging through cornfields like it's their personal buffet. The locals had enough. From smashed crops to missing chickens, it was clear the pigs declared war. So a group of seasoned hunters was called in, with one mission: bring back peace to the land. The hunt began on a damp morning. Fog rolled through the trees like nature's own smoke machine. The crew marched in with full gear and full attitude. Leading the pack was Ty, known as Silent Shooter, because he barely talked and barely ever hit. Then there was Hank, always joking. A boar ain't nearly as scary as my wife calling me home for dinner. After hours of tracking, Hank paused and said, "Last week I saw this hog, big as a Harley, right in my backyard. Thing looked me dead in the eye like, 'You ain't stopping me, little man.'" Everyone laughed nervously. Because according to the old folks, the older a wild boar gets, the smarter and the meaner. Then came the traps. Bait was laid, nets set, ambush spots chosen, like it was a tactical mission. But not 20 minutes later, chaos. A baby pig ran straight into the trap, squealed like a banshee, and ninja'd its way out. Ty blinked. That pig's got more street smarts than I did in high school. Finally, the first clean shot. Quick, precise, like a scene from a Western. The crew cheered. Hank whipped out his phone. "Let me snap a pic for Facebook." Caption: "Took down this hog like I took down your heart, sweetheart." The next morning, back at it. They followed fresh tracks along a muddy creek. The air smelled like wet earth and something gamey. Suddenly, the hound named Buddy growled and took off like a rocket. Barking echoed, brush rustled, then thudding hooves. A whole herd of boars on the run. Nobody spoke, just breathing. And then, thud! Ty face planted into a tree root. Told you not to wear sneakers, man. The forest gods are watching. Hank chuckled while helping him up. Another shot. Another pig down. Big credit to Buddy the Hound, who was wagging his tail like he just solved world peace. Ty patted him. You're smarter than me on test day, boy. Then came the final boss. A wild boar the size of a motorcycle stepped out, snorting, eyes glowing. The crew froze. Leaves rustled. Hearts pounded. Hank leaned behind Ty and whispered, "You shoot! I'll film for TikTok." In the end, the mission was a success. But hunting wild boar isn't just about guns and gear. It's about patience, discipline, courage. And if you ever meet one in the woods, don't look it in the eyes, just play dead and pray. Wild boars in Calabria have been showing up more and more in recent years, wreaking havoc on farms and giving farmers a massive headache. These boars usually show up at 2 a.m. in groups of about 5 to 7, sometimes more than a dozen. Each time they show up, farmers lose sleep and their crops take a hit, up to 80% of their harvest gone. One of the worst hit areas is Tuscany, home to about 200,000 wild boars roaming free. To help out these poor farmers, our hunting team showed up, fully equipped with the latest tech to put these boars in their place. Their favorite hideouts are in the mountain areas near the farms, so we had to use drones to scan the vast land. We hid behind big rocks and thick bushes. Feels like we're in an action movie, but nope, this is real life. We listened closely to every sound, ready to pull the trigger at any moment. And just like that, the wild boar showed up about 500 meters away from us. I chambered the round, aimed, and fired. The shot rang out and the boar went down. I bet you didn't see that coming, huh? Wow, this boar was a full-grown one. About 200 pounds, bigger than most suitcases. After taking down this one, we moved on. Another full-grown boar appeared in my sights, and I didn't waste a second. Bam! Another shot. The boar went down, and I was already running over. Hurry, let's find it! But guess what? Despite getting shot, this boar was still alive. So I shot a couple more times to finish the job. Finally, peace and quiet. We jumped in the truck. Remember, every boar we take down, we haul it in right away. No time wasted, especially in this massive area where other boars might hear the shots and start running. I know you might think we're hunting these boars for fun, but no, we're actually protecting the crops, protecting the land that farmers have worked so hard to build. This isn't a game. The mountainous area is huge, and we often have to hike to find these boars. But they don't make it easy. They don't move in groups. They scatter everywhere. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. After a while, I finally spotted a boar and took my shot. No way I was going to miss it. And then, boom! Another group of boars appeared. They freaked out and started running when they heard the gunshots. For groups like this, we aim for the big boars. It not only protects the crops, but it also reduces the number of boars that are able to reproduce. All the boars we hunt are collected and distributed to the farmers in the area, so at least they get something out of it. On the last day of our grueling hunt, we decided to make a bold move. Head for the highest mountain peaks, where the wild boars have been hiding out, causing chaos in the forest, destroying crops, and messing up the delicate balance of the local ecosystem. These aggressive boars storm down the hills, tearing up everything in their path and pushing local communities to the brink of crisis. The best solution now is hunting. Our hunting team is ready. Buckle up for a thrilling, intense expedition. After double-checking our weapons, the hunt officially began. Just 15 minutes in, a massive, dark shape appeared through my scope. I held my breath, stayed calm, adjusted my aim, and fired. The shot rang out sharply, and the boar collapsed immediately. I didn't waste any time, quickly shifted my aim to the other boars running away. One clean shot after another, I picked them off one by one as they ran, each shot echoing through the silence of the mountains. When I was close enough and had a clean shot, I didn't hesitate. Bullseye! The boar went down instantly. It wasn't the biggest one, but still, it was a satisfying outcome. Fueled by success, we turned our attention to a bigger herd in the distance. As soon as the first shots rang out, the herd scattered in all directions. But we held our ground, adjusting our positions and staying locked on target. The gunfire echoed across the mountains as we made calculated shots, aiming to hit our targets without wasting any ammo. Some boars were wounded and dropped on the spot, while the rest vanished deep into the forest. After hours of searching, I decided to move to a higher vantage point on a mountain slope. It was the perfect spot with a panoramic view of the thick forest below. From there, I could see even the smallest movement in the tall grass and bushes. Sure enough, just minutes later, a shadow emerged from the distance. I lined up my shot and took the boar down with ease. But the hunt wasn't over. I continued to move along the steep, rugged slopes where chasing the boars would be impossible. In these areas, ambushing was the key. We picked hidden spots and patiently waited for the boars to come into range. With the help of our hunting dogs, we managed to spot and take down more targets. To stay hidden and avoid alerting the boars, we constantly changed positions, moving from one ambush point to another. Occasionally, boars would pop up, and I took every chance to bring them down before they could escape. As the hunt neared its end, the pressure built up. To get a better view of the area, we deployed a drone, our eye in the sky, to scan the terrain from above. We quickly spotted a group of boars trying to escape via a trail on the other side of the hill. Without wasting a second, the team split up to flank them from two directions. Shots were fired and the boars were taken down quickly. The chase grew intense as other hunters honed in on their targets and joined in the fire. Just when we thought the journey was over, a massive boar suddenly burst out of the bushes, charging across the trail right in front of us. Adrenaline surged as we quickly got into position. As soon as I had a clear shot, I aimed and fired. The boar wasn't an easy target, but after a few well-placed shots, I brought it down. But this isn't the end. Wild boars reproduce at an alarming rate, and the fight against these destructive invaders is far from over. We're in this for the long haul. The heat stretches across the vast land of the United States. A silent but fierce battle is being waged every single day. Farmers are not only facing extreme weather and unpredictable market changes, but they also have to fight off a formidable invader, wild boars. To lend a hand, our professional hunting team has joined the battle. Let's dive into this adventure. We drove to the designated hunting area as planned, with the sounds of hunting dogs barking in the distance. The whole team began scouring the area for signs of wild boars. As the dogs' barks grew louder, our pace quickened. My heartbeat matched the rhythm of each step I took. Suddenly, a wild boar appeared right in front of us. Without hesitation, we both opened fire repeatedly. The large black figure collapsed in the pine forest. I stepped closer and fired a final powerful shot, bringing the unlucky beast down for good. After receiving the signal, our team continued onward. We stopped at the base of a tall mountain, where thick snow made every step heavier, but also helped us pinpoint the boar's exact location. Despite our efforts to speed up and aim precisely, the boar managed to escape into the air, leaving us with deep regret. After circling the area for 10 minutes, I spotted a new target, a strong, fast-moving herd of wild boars crossing ahead. Without delay, I pulled the trigger and fired several shots. The thick snow beneath me caused me to slip and fall. But there was no time to hesitate. I quickly sprang back up, gun still in hand, and kept firing. In the end, only one unlucky boar separated from the herd was hit. The rest vanished into the wide open. After scanning the area around the mountain for about 10 minutes, the dogs began barking again. My senses immediately heightened. Something was coming. It was charging downhill. I quickly raised my rifle, adjusted my aim, and fired one shot, then another. But the animal was clever, constantly shifting direction and denying me a clean shot. Finally, after a relentless pursuit, and with the help of the hunting dogs, we brought down a full-grown wild boar. Its scream confirmed what we already knew. We had seized control of the situation. The hunt continued through the snowy mountains. I stood still, waiting. In moments like these, patience is the sharpest weapon. Finally, a shadow emerged, unaware of my presence. It flinched and tried to flee after the first shot. Though wounded, the boar didn't go down. I had to pursue it, following the blood trail. Once I confirmed its location, I climbed up a boulder, heart pounding, and fired the final round toward the boar. In the vast stillness of the forest, the gunshot and my breath echoed powerfully, marking the tense end to this chase. We didn't rest, hunting straight through until late afternoon. The snow thickened, visibility worsened, but none of us intended to stop. Fueled by adrenaline, we kept tracking the wild boars from a fair distance. I spotted my target, a lone boar that had strayed from the herd, standing beneath a pine tree. With practiced hands, I aimed, squeezed the trigger, and waited for the beast to fall. But every successful shot like that still stirs something inside you, a strange, soaring emotion that's hard to put into words. Thank you. Japan, the land of the rising sun, is famous for its cherry blossoms, Mount Fuji, and unique culture. However, this country is also facing a serious problem: the rapid surge of wild boars. The dense forest and rugged terrain have unintentionally become a paradise for these creatures. They invade farmlands, ravage crops, and cause severe damage to farmers. Dense bamboo forests serve as the perfect sanctuary for wild boars in Japan. They weave through the sturdy bamboo stalks, enjoying the abundant food supply and natural cover. Yet amidst this untouched beauty, a silent battle is unfolding. Bamboo trunks lie chaotically, obstructing my path as I pursue my target. Sweat drips down my face as I push through the rugged terrain, moving toward my prey, hiding above. Then the critical moment arrives. The wild boar is perfectly positioned within my sights. Without hesitation, I pull the trigger. The gunshot rings out, and the bullet flies straight to its mark, taking the boar down instantly. Its hefty body rolls a few times before coming to a complete stop. A swift and decisive end. Uh-oh. Deep in the dense forest, the eerie silence is broken only by the crunch of dry leaves under my footsteps. In this battlefield, only highly trained hunting dogs can track down the prey. Wild boars, nature's cunning predators, can hide in the shadows or charge at any moment. I tread cautiously, each step deliberate, as if walking on the edge of a cliff. The terrain is steep and slippery. One wrong move could cost me my life. Suddenly, the hunting dogs bark furiously, signaling danger ahead. My heart pounds as I rush downhill, falling branches creating natural obstacles, hindering my every step. My breath quickens, and I tighten my grip on my weapon. Then, 3 dark figures burst out of the underbrush. Without delay, I raise my gun, hold my breath, and pull the trigger. A precise shot echoes through the air. We continue tracking down the remaining boars, and the thunderous gunshots shatter the stillness of the forest. Each shot marks another victory, with wild boars falling one by one. Higher up, the snow has yet to fully melt, leaving patches of white scattered across the ground. Following the trail, I crouch low, ready to strike. Then from the dense bushes below, a heavy shadow lunges forward like an arrow. Without hesitation, I pull the trigger. The gunshot booms. Instead of fleeing, the boar charges straight at the hunting block, but the bullet is already deeply embedded in its body, causing it to let out a final roar before collapsing. I cautiously approach, holding my breath, then raise my gun. A second decisive shot rings out. The once mighty destroyer is now nothing but a lifeless carcass,